Welcome back, everybody. Uh, I thought I'd give a quick tour of my single player map. Now, the purpose of this is twofold. One, I'm kind of, I like a lot of the stuff that I've done, so I kind of want to show it off. And two, I feel there's some of it that's just lacking. So, any input, any suggestions y'all could give me for filling some of this stuff out properly? Like, let's start here with my current base. This is actually my second base. It's a uh, I usually started as a mining facility, and usually end up growing it out uh, because of. See here, we're looking at E4 on the map here for those that are curious, but it's just surrounded by so many resources. You have iron up here, you've got iron over here, all along this. You've got thralls over here. You got a giant scorpion that spawns right here for farming of legendaries. You got a crocodile that spawns down here. You got sulfur here, sulfur here. There's just so much good stuff in this area that once you have a well, it's completely worth building in this area. Most of the construction is storm glass, although I do use a good bit of Tranian in the mix, and some Qatar, because my character, or Catan, my character is Katai, so I like to use as much Catan material as I can in here. Meat dances with bears. Picked her up from a raid in my second facility, which I will show you here in a little bit. As you can see, the Stormglass and the Tranian blend really well. The Catan, less so. I mean, there are places where the Catan blends quite well, like this right up here. This is all Catan mixed in with the Stormglass. That works pretty well, but the walls less so. I'll probably go back and do something about that at some later date. This is my workshop. Meet my thralls. This is Anna the Reaver. She is a tier 4 named, who spawns right down here. Which means she is, generally speaking, better. How do I put this? She's tier 4 named are usually considered to be the best of the best in the area, but because she's from a tier 1 area, she's relatively weak compared to most other named tier 4s. Even Dances with Bears up there, who's a performer, has mostly better stats than her. Meet my black Yeti. You can get him by going to the cave of is it Hanuman down here, Hanuman's grotto. If you have the Scourge Stone while you're in there, oops, didn't mean to shut that off. You can there's a chance that you get in the Black Yeti, which is, they look cool and all, but they're just okay in terms of combat. Yeah, not the worst all I've ever had, but certainly not the best either. Alright, so this is what I was talking about when I mentioned all that iron. It goes all along here, all along there, curves down and around behind that. There's just so much of it that spawns up here. And then there's your giant scorpion. Kill him and you can get, you can see the crate right there. That has a legendary in it. And right over there you have a Darfari camp. good for early thralls. Then all along that ridge right there, you have iron ore and iron rock nose. So there's all sorts of material in the area. Once you have a well, once you can build a well in some way, shape, or form, it is completely worth the effort to build up here, in my opinion. So this is the only place, only one of my bases that have every workstation with a thrall. Most of them farmed from the den. Let's see here. This is a storage area. And out here we have my stables for horses that I don't have yet. That's still to come. Is that storm glass? I think that's storm glass. Yeah. So, this was originally all sandstone. I eventually built it up and replaced it all with tier 3 materials. Like I said, mostly storm glass and Terranian. Like that's all Terranian, I think. Or is that storm glass? Oh well. You got my wheel of pain over there. You got that's my horse stable over there, and my animal pen over there. I went and blocked all of this off, so I didn't have to worry about anything spawning down here. I didn't have to worry about anything roaming in. That was originally all sandstone. It took me a little while to farm that up. Alright, so some of this I've shown off before. This is my map room from previous videos. And you come in here, and I miscalculated when I built the roof of this, because when I built this, it's the same layout, same build as the map room in terms of how the lighting is set up and all that. Except I built it when I had the tier 1 shrine in here, and now at tier 3 it pokes through the ceiling. So one of these days I need to go through and redo that, add another layer. I think that's about it for this location. Let's see here, check my notes. Yeah, I guess I didn't mention why I called it the Old Wild. I usually try and name all of my locations, and I try to come up with something that means something relevant to either the architecture or the location or the reason I built it, whatever. And I called this one the Old Wild because the old, when I went through and I looked up synonyms for Gothic, because Stormglass is Gothic build, and the old is apparently a synonym. Yes, it is a flavor topping. It is a synonym for Gothic, and the wild is a synonym for like a desert or a wasteland or whatever. And therefore, the old wild is another way of saying a gothic wasteland. Apparently. Sounds good to me. Anyway. So, next stop is my northern base. Alright. And so here we are approaching my northern base. So, you'll notice it's nowhere near as big. Welcome to Avalanche Redoubt. Now, I called it Avalanche comes for obvious reasons, and Redoubt is just a slightly fancier way of saying fort. Now, this place has never really been anything more than just a star metal mining facility for me. Again, mostly Stormglass and Catan, or Stormglass and Terranian, though it does have a little bit more Catan mixed in. The roof is entirely Catan. The fencing here is Catan. There's my campfire. So yeah, this place literally has nothing but a campfire, a bed, and some forges. And that's it. I don't even think I have anything in the forges at the moment. Oh yeah, sulfur. Or brimstone, excuse me, sorry. Anyway, the nice thing about this location, being at C11, you have Stargazer's Crest over here. You have iron ore that tends to spawn up here, along with all the star metal that spawns up in this area. Plus there's giant up here, all kinds of stuff up here, which I haven't really gone very far this way yet in this game, but there's all kinds of stuff up in here worth hunting and harvesting. I chose not to make it a major base because honestly the only reason I ever really come up here is to mine for star metal. So this is all the bigger I actually needed. It's actually probably bigger than I needed. I probably could have just dropped a bed down here and made it a single story. But I don't know, I like having an overlook. I like having a deck. So I try to build those into bases whenever I can. So, anyway, let's see, where should I go next? I think I should go to my thrall camp next, because it's on my way back. So, next stop, my thrall camp. Alright, and so, now we are approaching... Okay, good, it is recording. We are now approaching my thrall farm. And I know what you're saying. This doesn't look like a good place to farm for thralls. Well, the base has gotten much bigger than I originally intended it. Because this wasn't originally part of the base at all. We're going to go ahead and run upstairs here. This is my least completed base so far. It is almost entirely Terranian, with some storm glass here or there because I found it useful. Oh, I still got to replace that one. Okay. So yeah, as you can see, all I got in it is a bed and some storage in this area. And I don't even have any work spaces over here. I do, however, up top, because I recently completed the, oh, I can't remember the name of the missions, but it's a tier 1 shrine to Jehebel Sag. I think that's how it's pronounced. Sag. Tier 4 priest, though, because guess where Parent of the Blood Moon, who is a tier 4 named priestess of Jebel Sag, spawns. That's right, the Den, which is right there. This is the ruins old Nebthu. Again, I'm still not in the original part of the base. What this was originally all built for, and the reason why all these spaces are at a square or at an angle instead of being square to the structure, because I wasn't originally planning on building all this up here. After I built the basic part, which was the Wheel of Pain and the fort around it, I decided to build up a little bit. I realized I had a bunch of extra, so I built up that way with it, and yeah. So this right here, the original base was this square right here. Just so I can go over here to I gotta change the, oh no, never mind, I guess that is right. Right over here you have the Den, which is a great place, probably the best place in the desert areas to farm thralls. The vast majority of my thralls, or my crafting thralls I should say, have come from here. I do have a couple of warriors that I haven't leveled up yet, so they don't count yet. But yeah, I haven't even gotten around to naming this place yet. So next stop, I'm going to go to well, since this place was never meant to be a base, and I never named it, I never even marked it on the map, to be honest, because it was never supposed to be anything more than a Wheel of Pain area. I think the next place I should go to is the next actual base I built, although that will require a little bit of doubling back. So alright, so here we are at my third actual base. We are in 07. Let me pull that up for you real quick. This is where the entrance is. The actual base is out here, but this is the entrance, so that's what I've got marked on the map. It is made out of Yamatai, mostly, and it is named Kojimaka, which is actually a double reference. Most of you gamers can probably figure out the first one. It's a reference to Kojima Hideo. Why did I say Hideki? I don't know. Anyway, Kojima Hideo, who is a very famous video game programmer. The second reference is Kojima is a type of small island that is typically seen on the north or east coast of Japan. So Kojimaka would be a way of saying that it's a small island home. Now, this island was a experiment for me. I wanted to try and see how far I could push the elevator system, which is apparently, I pushed it 4 blocks too far. Actually, I could probably reduce this a little bit, but I couldn't get it a one shot all the way across. So I built up a small island here, a small section on this little island here, to act as a junction, because one wouldn't reach all the way across. So this is my third actual intended base. As I said, it's in 07 over here. A little bit of fun fact while I'm running through some of this stuff. Yamatai, the nation of Yamatai, never actually appeared in any of the Conan books. They only appeared in Conan comics. From Marvel Comics. Obviously based on Japan. In the game, or in the Conan lore, Yamatai is a series of islands. It's an island nation just to the east of Katai, which is where my character is from. Katai is a stand-in for China. I'll get more into that later. Lemuria, which is a nation that is referenced a lot here, or in this game. There's a lot of Lemurian ruins and whatnot, because there was a Lemurian outpost here. Or not an outpost, God, I'm blanking on the word, where they send people out to create settlements, colonies. There was a Lemurian colony here. As you can see, I've only got a handful of thralls here because I'm still working on that. And Lemuria mostly existed during the Kull series, which series of books also by oh Christ, why am I blanking on his name? I might have to Robert E. Howard. It's Kull is a series that predates Conan. It takes place in the same world, a few thousand years apart. Lemuria is destroyed at the end of the Kull season. Sinks into the ocean like Atlantis, basically. It was basically based on Atlantis. And the Lemurians surviving Lemurians spread out to other nations, including, and became several nations that still exist in the Conan timeline, including the Turanians. Anyway, Yamatai was named in a reference to an old Japanese nation that existed, oh God, thousands of years ago. The only historically confirmed references to it that I'm aware of come from books in the Third Kingdom, or the Three Kingdom period in China. Reference it, and reference their Queen Himiko. Yeah, Priest Queen Himiko. Which, if you look her up online, she is a very famous ruler from the time, I believe, who is probably the inspiration for the Witch Queen here in this game. A lot of people think, or a lot of historians think, Yamatai would have been located in what is now northern Kyushu. But this area right here, this base, is a prime example of what I was talking about earlier when I said I need ideas on how to fill some of this. Were this a server where I was playing with friends and we had a clan, there's all kinds of stuff I could do with all the empty space. You know, I could turn this from being in a single bedroom into being a dorm for all the players. I could turn this area into a clan area proper, instead of just having a throne room here and a kitchen over here and nothing else being done with the rest of it except for the bedroom I've got built upstairs and the little bit of stuff I've got put on the roof. I just, without it being my primary base, and it's not conveniently located enough to be a primary base for me, I haven't spent a lot of time working on anything to make it feel more homely. I ended up making it far bigger than I ever intended to. So any ideas, any suggestions would be greatly appreciated. I'm thinking about expanding over to that island and putting a map room up there. Or maybe put one on top of that island, since I've got I already got a little thing built over there for it. That'll make getting there relatively easy. Although getting to that one would be pretty easy too, I think. I just have to build out a little bit and I can attach a elevator down to this one. I don't know. But anyway, any ideas on how to fill all that empty space would be greatly appreciated. Next stop is my final base. Alright, and so here we are. This is the location of where my primary base was, or my original base was. New Valley, as most people would expect. This is a great place to build starting out. You have iron up here. You have relative safety down here. I usually build across the entire thing. Won't let you build in the middle here, but you can build across quite a bit of it, actually. But the reason I'm actually here is because while I was cleaning up the last of my stuff here, I looked over here, saw that plateau. I'm like, I've never tried building up there. I should try that. And so I did, and that's where my final base is. You can't see it from here because the draw distance apparently sucks in this game. But as I'm approaching it, you'll see it start to pop into existence, like there. Now, this is another example of me building something just to see if I could, and then not knowing what to do with it once I had it built. My little waypoints, because I kept getting lost up here. Now, as you can see from the sign here, the name of this place is Shenfeng, which is Mandarin for mountain peak. I know, not exactly the most clever name in the world, and not even really technically accurate, because it's more of a plateau, which would be, oh god, my Mandarin is so rusty. Gaoyuan? I think that's right. choice, built out of entirely Catan, because why not? It is on the map at H3. Well, right on the line of H and I guess. The house itself isn't on H3, which is right here. Oh, there it comes. A long ride up, or long ride down, long ride up. Took me a long time to figure out how to climb my ass up to this plateau without falling to my death. Because there are a lot of spots where you get up here and it just nopes you down. So what I ended up doing was I ended up doing sandstone foundations, which have been replaced here with Catan. But I used sandstone foundations, and I'd build a couple up, climb up, replace where I was standing, climb up, replace where I was standing, climb up, etc., etc. And then I built across to here. Again, the elevator couldn't reach all the way down, because I originally had it all the way up, but the elevator couldn't reach all the way down. So, yeah, I kind of pushed it too far. So, welcome to Shanfeng, where this is the only property I built that is 100% Catan. It is 100% one flavor of building material. And as you can see, it is largely empty. Because again, I built it just to see if I could. Now, I do have a fully functional kitchen over here with absolutely no thralls. And if you come over here, I think, yep, here's the door. I have a fully functional workspace. But the vast majority of it, you know, it would be a good location for a clan base. But beyond that, I just don't know what to do with it. Of course, both the kitchen and the kitchen and the work area have massive storage spaces up top. Well, this one doesn't have any storage in it yet. But yeah, if this were a clan base, it'd be all kinds of useful. But honestly, I mostly built it just to see if I could. And then now that I have, I don't know what to do with all the empty space. And there's a lot of empty space. Alright, so quick history lesson. Much like the Yamatai, the Catan, Ctai is based on China, as you can probably tell. Hence the Mandarin names. But believe it or not, it is actually based, like Yamatai, on an actual people, the Catan people who lived in what is now Mongolia or northern China. And I think they had part of Far East Russia as well. Yeah, they had multiple dynasties from like 900 AD to 1269. Their big one lasted about 300 years. And then they had a bunch of smaller ones as well. They were eventually conquered by the Mongolians. So there's your history lesson. 2 history lessons in 1 video. Hey, I can label this educational now. Again, my bedroom. I've put a little bit more time. Fleetfoot. I picked her up at one of the Dafari camps. I can't remember which one. But It had to have been nearby, otherwise I wouldn't have put her here. So, again, storage. No exit to the roof from the storage, though. But, much like my other places, I like having a nice, large deck. Now, I didn't build one. You can see where my old, my original base was. There's where my current primary base is. I didn't put one at the old Wild, but being on a cliff like that, it already had so many overviews built in. Where did... I know I've got another one. A couple more, I think. Okay, I know I'm missing one somewhere. Was it in this one? No. Okay, and that's the kitchen. Dag nabbit. So it must be over here, because I know it's on that side. Up there it is. I knew I had another one around here somewhere. I don't know, I just like creating places that have nice views. But I always end up with so much wasted space. So if anybody has any ideas on what I can do with some of this space to make it more, I don't know, homely, more accurate, more lived in feeling, pop it down in the comments. I will probably, in addition to the Mitra, which I have maxed out over there, and the Jebel Sag out by the den, which is still tier 1, I'll probably build, I think it's a Yogite. I think I have access to a tier 1 Yogite, which I might build up here. But honestly, I don't know what else to do with some of this stuff. You know, this one has all of the functional stuff. When it comes to building stuff, I can build. I can figure out how to build just about anything in this game. Except I've got one spot here I can't figure out how to get the game to let me fill in. Right here. It won't let me put a wall there. Or a frame. Not sure why. It just won't. But once I have it built, I always end up with crap tons of empty space. Unless it's a primary base. Like the old Wild, where it started out much smaller, and I just kind of expanded it as I needed it. If it's something like this where I build it just to see if I can, I always end up with so much space. So, ideas. If you have them, throw them in the comments. I would appreciate it. And that is it for this video. Thank you for watching.